Benet's Bloody Bits.
1975 is the year of Jaws. This movie came out of nowhere based off the best-selling novel by Peter Benchley. A very young Steven Spielberg just knocks this film out of the park. The best nature run amok film ever. It is the movie that introduced the term blockbuster, which hadn't even been used before. The idea that people were waiting streets and down blocks and these huge lines just to check out a film. It kind of was unheard of. And of course, with success comes people that want to capitalize on it, rip-offs and people that want to make some money. And American filmmakers have always kind of set the stage for others, whether it be The Omen, in this case, Jaws. Years later, when we get films like The Meg and Deep Blue Sea, but the Italians were the best at capitalizing on the success of others. In 1981, saw the release of The Last Shark, also known as Great White, also known as El Ultimo Squalo. And it's directed by Enzo, I'm going to forget his name because his last name is tricky, Enzo G. Castellari. And he's most famous for directing The Inglourious Bastards, the original film that Quentin Tarantino later used the name for his film. And it actually did get a theatrical release in 1981. It found its way to our shores, made a little bit of money. Universal Pictures, who Jaws is their franchise, they got wind of it. They lawyered up, they took it to court, but it got to play for about a month. Made actually really good money, but finally a judge said, look, Universal is like, this is really it's plagiarism. It's too close to our film. And this film, Last Shark, got yanked out of theaters and really to be forgotten and never to be seen. It really sticks with me because it's not a good movie, but it's not a horrible movie. It's just very average, but it's also a time capsule. Just the whole early 80s Italian industry ripping off, its American counterparts. But the movie works on its absurdity. Instead of Chief Brody, we just got like this guy in a small coastal town. They're going to have a wind sailing competition. So it's summertime, and they don't want to cancel it because it's a big deal. Instead of the mayor, we got a guy running for governor. He doesn't want to cancel this thing. He sets up metal netting in the ocean to surround this area. But of course, the shark breaks its way through, finds its way in there, starts chomping on locals. Body parts start falling off left and right. And it doesn't work for the very simple reason is the overuse of stock footage of different sharks. It's obviously not the fake shark that's used in the movie. When they do get around to this homemade shark that they use, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad either. It doesn't look that much different than the sharks that were used in the 4 Jaws films. I wish it would have been used more, but I'm sure the budget was very low and they couldn't do it. So the most hilarious thing about the movie is when the shark does attack somebody, and it happens several different times in the film, somebody gets hit from underneath the water and it's just a dummy that goes flying in the air. And it's funny. I don't think it was intended to be, but I think they didn't have a lot of money. But recently I did a retrospective on Twilight Zone, the movie. And so Vic Morrow was heavily on my mind. And I started thinking about, for this series I do, Where's the Blu-ray? I would like to own this film just for history reasons, just because I believe in film preservation. And it was seeing Vic, and it's hilarious because he's totally supposed to be Quint, Robert Shaw's character for Jaws, down to the way he looks, the mustache, the really awful accent that he has. But it's like seeing an old friend. He's alive, he's healthy, and that it just made me feel good. I kind of had to, after watching Twilight Zone the movie, kind of like cleanse myself and just watch something with him. But that was several years before, so it's great to see Vic Morrow on screen again. The rights issue must be something that's very tangled. I would like to know what's going on with it. Did They sue so it can never get released again. Did they buy out the rights so it can never physically be released? I do know there was a Region Zero DVD put out several years ago. I'm not sure how legit it is, if it's more bootlegish, but if there's one company that can figure this all out is David Gregory and Severin Films. A couple years ago, they put out Cruel Jaws from Bruno Mattei. That one actually uses footage from some of the Jaws films. And the slipcover, which was very exclusive and wasn't available for a long time, said Jaws 5 on the cover. So can you imagine if Severin gets a hold of, you know, Great White, puts it out, has a slipcover calling Jaws Returns? That's what I've seen on some foreign artwork. That would just be so awesome. So sometimes movies, they hit you different for whatever reason. I don't believe in like bad movies. I don't like calling them guilty pleasures. I kind of refer to them as not so guilty pleasures because even a bad movie sometimes hits well. I think this is the greatest not so guilty pleasure Jaws film ever made. It's definitely hits the zeitgeist of the time. Uh, Universal had every right to jump in. Look, Jaws 1 and 2 had come out, made a lot of money. Jaws 3 was a couple years away from coming out, and then Jaws Revenge would come out in 1987. But the interesting thing is, as awful as this film can be at times, I still think it's an easier watch than Jaws 3D that takes place at SeaWorld and Jaws the Revenge, where he roars out in the Bahamas. I mean, Michael Caine skipped the Oscars where he won just for this paycheck of a film. And if you bring it up to him now, it's cringe for him. But anyways, El Ultimo Squalo, The Last Shark, Great White, a nice memory film. You can watch it for free on Tubi. I don't know how long it's going to be on there. The audio wasn't very good, very hard to pick up stuff, but the video quality was DVD, and it was just nice to check it out again. Maybe one day it will come out on Blu-ray. If it ever does, I suspect it will be Severin Films. Thank you guys for watching. Go out there and support your shark exploitation cinema. Check this film out and give it a go and tell me what you think. Stay scared and talk to you soon.